What's going on, everybody? Lila and I are on another trip to pick something up, but it's not for the Datsun this time. We're here at the airport in Portland. It's like, what, like 4:15. We've been up since 2:30 for a really early flight. But yeah, we'll take you guys on the journey and show you what it is. And if you see my sweatshirt here, that might give you an indication. We made it here to Philadelphia, and we got one more flight to get over to Cleveland. All right, guys, we finally made it to Ohio, and we picked up what we came here for. Check this out. So this is a 2015 Chevy SS, and I bet there's a good chance that most of you guys have never even heard of this car. So these cars were actually made in Australia when GM bought Holden. In Australia, they were sold as the Holden Commodore. They sold them here in the US as the Chevy SS for only 4 years, 2014 to 2017. Like I said, this is a 2015. So this is what the car looks like. It's a 4-door, family-sized car. It's got the full back seats, so we got plenty of room to fit the kids in there. I'm not a fan of the carbon fiber wrapped hood, so we might do something with that. It's already failing. It's peeling off in places. But yeah, so we got a long trip back to Maine. It's like 14-15 hours. We're gonna make a few stops on the way, stay someplace overnight tonight once we get sick of driving. But let's hop in and we'll check the car out. So under the hood we got an LS3 6.2 liter Chevy small block. It's the same thing out of a C6 Corvette and the Camaro. Makes 415-ish horsepower. This one is modified a little bit. It's got long tube headers on it and an X-pipe, and it's got this intake on here. Not sure what this wire is about, but we'll check that out at some point. Obviously, since it's got the headers and stuff on it, it's been tuned, so I'm gonna have to check that out too, see if we need to do anything with that. So it sounds really good, right? But it's quite loud. I'm gonna have to do something about that because it's not gonna pass inspection in Maine. I know it doesn't. I know it doesn't. I know it doesn't have cats in the X-pipe, so I'm gonna have to fix that. That's an easy fix, though. Just weld in some cats. But we're probably gonna have to quiet that down a little bit. We'll see what we can do. The interior is very nice. It's all black. It's got the nice SS logo over there, some red stitching. This has been vinyl wrapped carbon fiber. Oh, by the way, it's got 50,000 miles on it, so it's pretty low miles, especially for a 2015 car. Is what, 9 years old at this point. It's got nice big back seats. The kids can fit back there, and that is kind of the purpose of this car. So I haven't had anything fun to drive since I sold the last C6 Z06 and bought the Datsun to work on. All we've had is our Silverado to drive, and I don't particularly enjoy that. So we were looking for something for a family car and that we could have fun to drive. This is what I landed on. It is an automatic, and you know, I would prefer manual, but Lila, you know, I'd like her to be able to drive the car, obviously, so got an automatic for her. I'll have the Datsun at some point ready to go. for the manual shifting. But anyways, we gotta get on the road. We got a long trip back. We're gonna go from here up to Niagara Falls actually and check that out this afternoon on our way back, and then find some place to stay the night and then continue on tomorrow. All right, well, we're on the highway now. We've been driving for a while and the car is driving amazingly. It's nice and quiet, nice and smooth. I haven't stepped on it yet, but it is very, very loud. So like I mentioned, we got to do something about that. We are headed up to Buffalo, New York, but so far, very happy with the car. I haven't found anything wrong just yet, and I'll keep you guys informed as we go. So we made it to Niagara Falls. Car's running great, and we're just gonna go check this out and get back on the road. All right, second day of the trip, just starting. It's almost 5 a.m. We're somewhere in New York. We stayed at this hotel last night just to get some rest. I actually slept very good, so much better than those 2 hours of sleep we got the previous night. Car's been doing great. And let's just do a quick cold start and then we'll get on the road. Well, it's about 7 a.m. We've been driving for a couple hours and looks like the sun's finally starting to come up. We are headed towards Burlington, Vermont right now. Should be there in a couple hours. Actually, might be a little less. Yeah, we'll be there in a couple hours. So we'll probably check back with you then. Well, we made it quite far into Vermont. We just stopped at Ben & Jerry's factory, the original one, I guess. Just stopped real quick, check that out, and we're gonna head back up on the road. We're back in Maine finally. Well, we made it back to Maine yesterday afternoon and the trip was amazing. The car did amazing, no issues with the car at all, drove perfect, didn't have any issues at all. We did stay over one night in Liverpool, New York, I believe it was, after we went to Niagara Falls. We just drove for a while, decided when we were ready to stop, and found a hotel, stayed for the night, and then, you know, got up real early and finished the trip the next day. As you saw, we also made a couple stops along the way. We stopped in Waterbury, Vermont, because Lila wanted to check out the Ben & Jerry factory, so we checked that out, ate some lunch there at a nice little pub, and then made the trip back to Maine. It was pretty uneventful, to be honest. The car, though, is amazing. It's very, very nice to drive. I'm honestly enjoying the automatic way more than I thought it would. It's quite fun to put it in sport mode and play around with the paddle shifters. So it's a nice compromise for the whole family. You know, we got this massive back seat back there, massive trunk, amazing interior, at least for a GM. I know everybody shits on GM quality interiors, but I really like this. You know, it's got literally every option that you would ever have in a GM vehicle, because that's how these came. I know down in Australia as the Commodore, they had many different trim levels for these cars. You know, all the way down from the base model with a V6 up to the top trim, which was an SSV Commodore. So from what I read, that's what these SSs are. They're that SSV trim for the Holden Commodore with even some more stuff tacked on top, which I'm not sure everything at this point. You know, I still don't know a lot about the cars. I'm learning. But yeah, it's got literally every option that you could ever see in a GM vehicle. It's very nice. Very happy with the purchase. There are some issues we need to take care of. It does not have cats. I'm going to get some cats to weld in, and as I mentioned before, it is incredibly loud. It is way louder than I expected, especially with the stock mufflers. So I'm going to do something about that. I got a couple options that I'm looking at. I'm not getting rid of the headers. We're going to add some cats in. Real easy to weld into the X-pipe, and maybe add some mufflers in the X-pipe too. I've seen some other people have run into this same issue. It sounds amazing, but one, it's not going to pass inspection here in Maine. It's definitely too loud. And two, it's just too loud for me for a family car. You know, I like it. I absolutely love the way it sounds. And I'm not opposed to loud vehicles at all. But with it being a family car, I want it to be a little more tame sounding. And I don't want to be afraid to, you know, step on it a bit and annoy literally everybody around me. Because, you know, when you step on this thing, if you're behind it, it is very loud. So we're going to do something about that. So we got some time to get that stuff done. I don't have to get it done ASAP, but to get an inspection here in Maine, I'm going to need to. Other than that, you know, I haven't found anything yet that I don't like about the car. We're going to obviously have to do some more driving. We'll do some more content with this too. You know, it's not necessarily going to take the place of the Datsun. You know, I still am fully planning on finishing the build on that car. It's not far off from getting down off the rotisserie like I've mentioned recently. But this is a good fun car to have fun with in the meantime. You know, we'll probably take it to the drag strip to try out. I think Lila's actually open to racing it, so that'll be interesting, getting her first time at the drag strip with the car. You know, with it being an automatic, it's relatively easy for her to race it. You just basically hit the gas and go, and you know, leave traction control on. It'll shift for itself and she'll be fine. But I'm absolutely in love with how this car looks. You know, I'm partial to red cars anyway, but I really think red with the black, and I'm not even minding the polished silver wheels. I thought I was going to hate them. I generally don't like shiny wheels like that. I'm a big fan of black wheels, so we might powder coat those black at some point. Might leave them, I don't know, we'll see. So some things I'm not 100% happy with the car is I don't like this wrap that they put on the hood. It's just a carbon fiber vinyl wrap. One, I don't like how it looks. It's kind of ricey. You know, if you're going to do a carbon fiber look hood, just do a carbon fiber hood. I know that the price is, you know, way different from wrapping a hood versus actually swapping to a carbon fiber hood, but this is, you know, kind of poserish. It's just, you know, it's not an actual carbon fiber hood. So anyways, they also didn't wrap it very well. There's many imperfections in it. I think I showed it off before though. He also did vinyl wrap a bunch of the interior pieces, which I don't hate. It probably looks better than, I'm assuming it's like a silver color. I gotta look it up underneath. But yeah, he vinyl wrapped some of that stuff, and it's not done perfectly, so I might redo it at some point. I might peel it off. But I don't hate it in there. It looks good in there. We do need to get rid of these Chevy logos on the front and the back though. Plan is to get the Holden logos. I know a lot of guys do that. I think it just kind of makes the car stand apart a little bit more. I know these cars are very rare. Most people have never seen one, never heard of one. So most people see this, they just see the Chevy logo, full-size car, they think it's a Malibu or something, which is fine, I guess. It's a sleeper, right? That's pretty much what it is. However, I'd like to get the Holden badges on there. I just think it looks cool. Just something different than, you know, most people are going to see the Lion logo and wonder what the hell it is. Might strike up some good conversations and stuff like that. Now, under the hood here, there's a couple issues. It has been resprayed on the front end. I did not know that. But you can tell there's some overspray here. You can tell a light difference in the paint here on the edge of the fenders. There's overspray on some stuff, both sides. So I'm wondering if, you know, it got in an accident. There was nothing on the Carfax or anything. There was no reported accidents. That doesn't necessarily mean there wasn't. You know, maybe the guy was a body guy. Maybe he had a buddy. or he just paid a shop to do it off insurance so it'd never get reported. You know, I don't know. I don't see any issues or anything that show a bunch of damage on the front or anything. Although I haven't been underneath the car myself yet, I haven't got it up on a lift. I will. Maybe it's just because the paint was all messed up. Maybe, you know, there was a ton of rock chips, he wanted to respray it, I don't know. But also, that could mean that the paint on the hood is completely messed up, and that's why they vinyl wrapped it to save some money. Makes me a little apprehensive to pull that vinyl wrap off. So we'll see. I'll probably leave the vinyl wrap on there for now, you know, for the winter. I don't know, we'll see. It's just, you know, it's one big question right now that I don't know what we're gonna do with. I guess if I pull the vinyl wrap off and the paint on the hood is totally messed up, that just gives me incentive to buy a carbon fiber hood. Also underneath the hood, I did not see this in the pictures before we bought it, but it's got this white wire here that runs, it looks like it's tapped into the PCM right here. It runs all the way back there, and I'm not sure yet where it goes behind the engine. So let's pop this engine cover off and see if we can see anything. So it goes back here, right back there. So, all right, it goes to this sensor right here, and that is a fuel line. That's got to be the flex fuel sensor, I would assume, because these cars do come with flex fuel capabilities from the factories. So you can run it on 93, E85, whatever. I'm assuming that's got to be the flex fuel sensor. I don't know why they would run a wire from the PCM over to there. I'm hoping it's not because there's an issue in the harness and they just bypass the wire that way as a fix. But I'll do some research. I'll see if the guys on the SS forums know what that might be. I'm definitely not going to mess with it right now because the car's running fine. It's just, I'm not going to leave it like that anyway. So we will fix it at some point. But I want to see if there's some common thing that people do with these cars, tapping into the flex fuel sensor like that. I don't know. I have no idea. To be honest, I've never messed with flex fuel at all, so that's all new to me. I do notice that this fuel line right here is aftermarket. It's got an LSX logo on the connector right there. Maybe we'll find some more stuff when we get underneath the car that the dealership didn't know about. It's kind of funny. They didn't even know that it didn't have cats on it until I asked them for a video of the underneath, because I knew it had aftermarket exhaust just by the sound of it. There might be more stuff done to this car than we know with. I know it's definitely tuned because, I mean, it needs to be anyway because it's got the headers on it. But they definitely did a transmission tune too, because, you know, the shifts are really firm. Not to the point that they're harsh or anything, but they're definitely way firmer than the stock shifts would be. You know, and we got this aftermarket intake on here, but I don't see any issues underneath here. I don't see any leaks, nothing. Like I said, the car drove great back from Ohio, no issues. So we'll do some stuff with this soon. Definitely need to fix the exhaust soon though. Like I mentioned, this thing has long tube headers, and I actually can see the logo on that front runner right there. You guys probably can't read it, but these got Cook's long tube headers. So that is a name brand company. Very good quality from everything I've seen. I've never purchased them myself, but everybody says they're one of the best. So that's good. It doesn't have, you know, cheap parts on it. Definitely happy about that. But that's about going to do it for this video, I guess, guys. Look forward to more content with this. Definitely more with the Datsun. Gonna jump right back on getting that thing off the rotisserie. But we'll probably do some stuff with this thing, like I said. Let me know what you guys think. If you know anything about these cars, anything about the couple of questions I got about it, leave me some comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.